If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to become part of this community. Alright, let's talk about this new Trippie Redd album again, Trip at Night. It has enjoyed a very long rollout process so far. We got the announcement a while back with Miss the Rage and Holy Smokes as the single so far. We got the cover art for it, which was looking pretty trippy, and I liked it. No pun intended there on the trippy, you know. But I liked it. It's something different, something weird, but I think it fits Trippie Redd's whole, aesthetic and vibe. Then after we got that cover art, he said that we needed a specific amount of reposts, of likes, of comments, whatever social media he was doing it on. We got that within a very short time frame. I think it was 1 to 2 to 3 days, something like that. But then he never did drop the track list, which left a lot of fans waiting and just in anticipation. Some people gave up on it. Trippie took this whole thing very humorously. This is an example that I've given in many videos in the past, but he recreated the Roddy Ricch Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial, portrait black on white album cover, and he named it Please Excuse Me for Not Dropping the Track List. So obviously the whole thing was kind of a meme, people were talking about it. But then we did get the track list finally a couple of days ago. I made that video about it, going over every track, every feature. So if you want to get a more in-depth kind of analysis on that, then I recommend you go watch that video I made on that. I'm also going to have all the videos that I made on Trip at Night put together in a playlist for y'all very soon, so y'all can go, skim through all the videos that I made on it. Kind of a trip down memory lane as to what the order of events was in this rollout. Anyway, now let's talk about what's actually important, because in that last video that I made on it, going over the track list, I also touched on the release date real quick. And the reason that I gave such an educated guess that it was going to drop on August 20th, which, by the way, if that is true or not, we're going to find out in a second. So the reason that I always had this date in mind is that he has a tour coming up, the Trip at Night tour, that is starting on August 25th. August 25th is a Wednesday, and obviously by that day, he would need to have dropped the album because he wants to perform it on tour, obviously. That's what the whole tour is for and supposed to promote. And when you look at the calendar, the track list dropped on Wednesday, August 11th. So on that day, it was only 2 more Fridays until he would start the tour. That would be the 13th and the 20th. Now, that other video I made before the 13th, so I still said it might drop as a surprise drop on Friday last week. It obviously didn't, so the only date that we have left was the 20th, which I always thought was going to be, the more reasonable and more realistic approach to this. And this is actually what Trippie has just announced, or he hasn't announced it, but we know that from Apple Music. Apple Music is a great tool and source nowadays because it's always got the coming up release dates on it, because I think artists have to submit them and they are public for people to look at, which other streaming platforms like Spotify, for example, don't have. So this is always very, very valuable to look at this. And on there, we can see, when you go to Trippie Redd's profile, you can see the top songs, the albums, and all that. Shout out to my Discord again for providing all this information in real time. If you're not a part of the Discord yet, I really recommend you go join it. We always have news on anything hip-hop related on there, also including Trippie Redd, Trip at Night. So if anything new happens, the Discord is where you'll hear it first before it'll become a video. Let me just say that. Anyway, back to the release date. Looking at his Apple Music profile, we can see that there is a pre-release that you can pre-order, which was there before. He also said we needed to get a certain amount of pre-saves in order to get the track list. So this was always there, but it never had a release date attached to it. But now it does. It says coming August 20th, 2021, Trip at Night, 17 songs. 17 songs is what we know from the track list as well. So we know that this is the final thing. That's not like a, demo version or whatever they submitted earlier. This is the final album. It's submitted to Apple Music, and it has a release date of August 20th, which is this Friday in only 6 days, which is pretty exciting because Trip at Night is an album that a lot of fans have been waiting for a very long time. It's one of the most, rumored and talked about albums on the Trippie Redd Discord, of course, on there, but also in my community on YouTube, just in hip-hop in general. A lot of fans have been waiting for this. We're finally getting it this week. I don't know what to expect yet. I'm going to make more videos leading up to its release, as I said, so stay subscribed if you want to, not miss out on those future videos on Trip at Night before its release. I like what we can see from the track list. As I said, I'm kind of worried about that X and Juice feature, just because those always seem like they're just milking that artist, legacy and discography, while I prefer tracks that the artist actually helped in the process of, and it's not just a lost verse that they throw on there. In the case of that Juice track, that is probably true, that Matt Hardy track, but I'm really not sure about that X track. We're gonna have to wait and see about that. We also have Drake on the album, which a lot of people are excited about. I'm really stoked to see what that's gonna sound like, because you might know that Trippie was supposed to be on God's Plan, Drake's hit single, but just fumbled it and never really submitted his verse or whatever. So that's how that never came to be reality. But this time, maybe the second time around, they're gonna have a hit together. I think that is something that a lot of fans have been waiting for some time as well. Judging from the singles, I loved Miss the Rage with Playboi Carti, mainly because of the instrumental, just because that was like such a hyped up instrumental that everyone was talking about. I didn't really care too much about that second single that he had with Uzi, Holy Smokes. I thought the beat was just very skeletal and was very thin, didn't bring a lot to the actual track, and their voices didn't add to it that much either. But you already know that. I know a lot of you guys also love the track. Y'all were defending it heavy when I was hating on it, which is cool. We're gonna have to see how the rest of the album sounds. I hope it's more individual, more unique instrumentals like Mr. Rage. Of course, that is a bad example, because that's really legendary. That instrumental has become notorious for the amount of time it's already been out there, being sent around and stuff like that. But I hope that we get more unique instrumentals, not just some basic Trippie Redd beats that we've heard in the past, because Trippie can truly, I think, elevate his career to yet another level with, for example, a Drake feature, as he does have on this new record. If he doesn't fumble it on this one, then they're probably gonna, it's gonna elevate him to another level. I'm talking like how Lil Durk, got elevated through that Laugh Not Cry Later feature. I think the same thing could happen for Trippie Redd. Anyway, that's what I think about this. Now I want to know what you think about this. Are you excited for Trippie Redd's new album, Trip at Night? What are your expectations for? What do you think music-wise? What do you think content-wise? What do you think about the track list, the cover art, the release date, which is now confirmed to be August 20th? All of that, let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media and blog down in the description. It really helps me out. Until the next one, y'all have an incredible day, and y'all take care.